Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Shift. It's Des here, just doing a quick intro to a chat that myself and Katie had with Kerryn Feehan, who is a friend of Katie's, who I only got to know myself very recently. And we chat about ghosting, text breakups, thirst traps, which the episode will describe what that is, zombieing, which we may or may not have gotten correct, and also just some fun general chats and great stories that came up from discussing all those terms. I'm sorry that Katie is not here next to me. We recorded some Skype intros, and some of them worked, and some of them didn't technologically. Actually, most of the problems were on my end. But just for the sake of practicality, to get the podcast off the ground, I'm just doing some quick intros, and I'm getting these episodes up. So you know that already because you're listening to it. So enough from me. It's myself and Katie chatting to comedian Kerryn Feehan.
Talk about
All
as
right,
well.
all right. Oh, I got some great story
We should
about
introduce you.
We're talking about it.
But just because I wanted to introduce, people don't know who the fuck she is.
I know, but go ahead, introduce her.
Oh,
Whatever.
you guys are pros.
Jesus,
There
man,
you go,
right?
bro. Yeah.
No, the assumption would be that we can do the intro.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm not a pro, okay? I'm like you're the mentor. Kerryn Feehan. There we go.
I tell you,
She nails
it's really worth all.
She just crushes it. Wow.
A good friend of mine,
Yeah.
a new good friend of Dez's.
I didn't realize I hadn't been introduced yet. I wouldn't have spoken yet. I usually have very good podcast demeanor.
No, well, that was
Is that like
deliberate,
okay.
like in the sense that like sometimes you start with an intro. I literally wanted to do an intro seconds before you said that, but
Right.
then I didn't want to stop the flow of you bringing up the Kilkenny thing.
Like I
Right.
did.
No, because I was just laughing because you were like, that'd be good to talk about. And I was like, we're fucking talking about it.
Oh, well, okay, go back to the Kilkenny guy because that is interesting. So you're
I
an
was in love with him.
American woman. You were in love with him. Where did you meet
Oh,
him?
I loved him at a bar, of course.
In here.
Yeah.
He was actually Irish from, oh wait, you said from
From
Kilkenny. Sorry,
Kilkenny. He played rugby here. I met him at a bar on the Upper East Side. This is when I was still in college, at the end of college. Hadn't been like fully kicked out of my dorms yet. His name was Michael. He had a black eye the night I met him. He was
Lovely.
like 10 pints of Guinness deep and sinking every pool shot that he was making. And I was like, oh, I'm in love with this kid. I love him so much. He was big, dumb, dark hair, freckles. Almost like I could have been related to him. And then we went and I think he lived with his dad. And we went and I think I probably slept with him like the first or second night. I'm like very chaste. And he came very quickly.
Okay.
And I started giggling, and he looked down.
Ireland's a very small place, just to let you know. There's probably some people who have already figured out, actually, that's Michael from, I remember he was playing rugby.
Michael Kilkenny rugby.
That's
10
like,
pints of Guinness.
just so you know, Ireland's very small, so it's very easy
I don't
to...
remember his last name.
Thank God
It's full of
for
Michaels.
him.
Come on, my brother's name is Michael. There's got to be
Yeah.
like millions of Michaels in Ireland, right?
There's plenty. Well, there's only only literally 4 million
That's
people, so...
There has to
Wow.
be some women listening to this and being like, oh yeah, that was 1 minute
yeah,
guy.
I
That was
know.
1 minute
I know
Michael.
about him.
And I start giggling, and he looks down. He's like, "Are you laughing at me?"
Really?
Like, yeah.
Are you
I
laughing
couldn't help
at
it. Like, couldn't help it. But I did love him, though. I thought he was
He didn't even
great.
give you a warning? Like, I get it. Every now and then
No.
you're too excited. You'd be just like, yo, I swear
No.
to God, I'm just going to...
Did it continue to go on like that?
I think we only. I got distracted. I get distracted by men very quickly, so I was.
Oh, so you just were with him.
I was in love with him though for like 2 weeks. I loved him. I still remember him. I mean, it was such a long time ago, and I still remember him.
And did you have sex again though where it lasted longer?
I think we had sex one more time. Yeah, but we were always very, very drunk. I don't drink anymore, but this is when I used to get blackout.
Oh.
Yeah, Kerryn
So-
has a tattoo on her arm that says "Don't serve me," which I love. It's brilliant.
Thank you so much. Yeah, 3 of my uncles have died of alcoholism. Oh no, one's not dead yet, but he's gonna.
And
But he has cirrhosis?
They all have like stuff. Like one died when he was very young, like 27 of pancreatitis. Because I guess he was just allergic to alcohol, but kept drinking. And then my other uncle died probably like 4 or 5 years ago, like diabetes, alcoholism, but he was like in his 50s. And then my Uncle Mark is just on his way. So
Are you Irish American?
yeah, I mean,
Oh.
what is that? What does that mean? Yeah,
Yeah, all your
Like you're born in America, but your heritage is Irish.
very Irish. Both sides. My
Oh.
dad's last name's Feehan. My mom's maiden name is Houlihan, and then her dad's, or I guess her maiden name's Powers, but her mom's last name was Houlihan.
Oh, right.
So she's Maureen Ellen Houlihan. My little sister has the most Irish name, Colleen Patricia Feehan, of all
Nice.
of us.
Where are they from? Where are your people from?
Cork. Where else? Some like fishing town.
Oh, that narrows
Oh,
it down.
Kinsale.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I bet you it's Kinsale.
Oh, man, I wish I could pull up like my old book, like the reports I used to do about my family and like the family tree. I remember my grandfather would talk about his mother, Mary. They were very poor, like fishing family. And then my dad, I don't know a lot about my dad's grandmother, but we used to call his mother Nana Doggy. And I was just telling Katie, my mom would go over there for meals and would have no idea what she was eating. It was just like a film of gravy. And then just like every bite would be something different. Like, oh, there's mac and cheese in there. Oh, cool. Potatoes, carrots.
It was a stew, no?
Yeah.
It's a stew.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's a traditional Irish stew, okay? It's our favorite Sunday dinner.
Oh, man, you guys, we really know how to eat.
Well, you just get what you can and you put it in a
Yep.
pot and you boil it up.
And put some sauce on it. Great.
My mom, big family, 6 kids. And then my dad, I think there was like 4 in his family, but they were super poor, South Boston.
Oh, right. Is that where you're from? Are you from Boston?
I grew up in Marshfield, which is like an hour south of Boston. But my dad is like Southie, Dorchester, lived in like a triple decker, like a 3-family home or whatever, super poor. And then, yeah, my mom was really poor. Both her parents were alcoholics. And they said, my mom was like the mom every day at cocktail hour because they would just be like wasted, blackout. And she would take care of her like 5 younger brothers and sisters.
Yeah, it's my mother. Very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar story.
Yeah.
The Irish
how we
American
do.
story,
Yeah, I was just
Well,
thinking
because
that.
honestly, obviously the stereotype is that Irish drink too much,
Yeah.
which is somewhat true and somewhat not true. But the thing about America is that the alcoholism really stands out here
Yeah.
because you have something to contrast it with
Yeah.
I
as
guess
in
so.
non-alcoholic behavior.
Right. But and even my grandfather quit. And my grandfather like never went to A or anything. He just was like one day was like cold turkey, I'm done. But when we went out to eat, he would still order virgin madrasses just to be annoying. It's cranberry and orange juice.
Okay.
Like, I'll have a virgin madras. We're like, shut up, Ginka. Get a fucking juice. That's what you're ordering.
But was he a happy guy or was he an angry?
No. He was miserable.
Yeah, that's
miserable. Girl.
But we were going to talk about ghosting.
Yeah, that's kind of where how do you feel about ghosting? I guess it's a new,
We read an
term.
article, by the way.
we're
that's why.
smart now.
Right. I'm personally, I've never been ghosted.
Really?
No, I've never, well, I don't know. I think you can sort of like allow yourself to be ghosted. Meaning if you're fucking texting somebody who has given you the vibe that they're done, at a certain point it's you. Like, stop texting them. Like, if they're not getting back to you, I don't know. It's like, it happens. And I've never really ghosted anybody because I'm like a direct person. Some guy accused me. He's like, what, are you just going to ghost me? And I just was like, okay, no, I don't like you anymore. You're making me be mean now.
That's great.
Interesting. So you were going to ghost.
But out of laziness, not spite. Like, out.
But do you?
I mean, I've ghosted, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'm going to own it.
I can tell.
Yeah, but I'm going to own it, though. I'm not going to pretend that I didn't when you were clearly ghosted.
I wasn't.
I'm not in denial about
I
the
didn't think we never even met. This guy like lived in Chicago. We just had like a lot of flirty texting and like some phone calls and some FaceTime stuff. And then I sort of just like got bored or distracted. And then he was like, you're ghosting me. I don't think that's a technical ghost if I've never even met him.
Oh, you hadn't met him?
No.
But
Well-
that should be more technical ghost because your physical form didn't meet him, but your spirit did.
Well, I mean, apparently that's considered a low level, like an entry level ghosting.
All right. So
But I don't think,
I'm a semi-pro ghoster.
yeah, but I don't think in any way, shape, or form you should consider that to be bad behavior. I think it's
No.
nonsense.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, I think people are exaggerating the
effects of the ghost.
that ghosting is this horrific behavior.
Right. Yeah.
And it's good that you were saying you'd be very direct and just say, look, I'm not interested.
Right.
That's so much better than just
Sure.
leaving them, because then people start to make up excuses and they're like, oh, maybe they're just busy, or maybe they're in hospital, or maybe because people can't handle rejection, and it's
Right.
because they can't think that and it might just be that
people's egos are what
Ego,
won't let
yeah.
them, you know, to be like, oh, this person doesn't like me. Don't they know I'm the greatest? This is ridiculous. But yeah, no, I think a lot of times it is just sort of like, catch the vibe, bro. Keep it moving.
I was talking to a girl. I was talking to a woman the other day, and I mentioned that we might talk about ghosting, and she said, "I think women ghost more than men." And I said, "Well, statistically, it doesn't hold up in that apparently it's slightly less women ghost. However, anecdotally, you would think that it is only
Right.
a male behavior in
Right.
terms of it seems that pop culture has accepted as a male thing." And she said it's one of the few double standards that works out for women. She said ghosting and being bisexual. the only times you come on top of it as a woman, because you know if you're a woman bisexual, it's like, ooh. So actually, if you're a man bisexual, it's like, oh,
Ooh, yep.
a little weird.
Yep. I'm not gonna be into that. If a guy's bisexual, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I by accidentally, well, I guess it wouldn't have mattered, but the way I found out that I was dating a bisexual was because we
started
were
fucking your roommate.
Yeah, because
no, do you know what?
he was like, I'd love a cock in my ass.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I don't have one right here, but let me go find one for you. No, what happened was you know, I guess we were seeing each other. We'd never said it was exclusive or anything,
Right.
but we were in the same community, so it is a comedian, and months later, after we had ended whatever we had begun, I was sitting with another comedian, and he said, "Did you know that I made certain person gay?" And I was like, "Oh, how?"
And I thought I did that.
I knew that, right? It's not my big penis. But I said, "Oh, how?" And he said, "Oh, back in." And he said, you know, he gave these specific dates. And I was like, "That's so funny because I was seeing him then as well. So I didn't know you were blowing him while I was blowing him."
Oh my God. This guy's getting
Sorry,
Hummers
Dad,
all
about the blowing material.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
But no, yeah, that was fun. But also it was just like, it was months later. So
Right. You weren't like, you didn't know you were seeing
Yeah.
a bisexual while it was happening.
Yeah.
Like it would be difficult for me to be attracted to someone who I knew was bisexual.
Do you know what though? I was
that?
watching an episode of Sex Education, and you know
Yeah.
when the really hot guy. If you haven't watched Sex Education, close
Oh,
your
this
ears
is
now.
a spoiler because I haven't watched it yet either.
Okay, it's only a slight. Okay, a really hot guy gives another really hot guy a blowjob, and I was like, that's kind of hot.
Yeah.
I
I'll
thought
check it out. I'll give it another whirl.
thought it
I'm
was
an
a
open
hot-
person, but typically speaking, I like a real alpha.
Me too, though. I like a
Yeah.
master. I like a guy who looks like he's gonna beat me.
100%.
But you know, it'd be nice if he didn't.
Right.
So
Yep.
Well, I mean, just to bring it back to ghosting, because literally that
Sorry.
was a quick quip that I was trying to drop. Fucking hell. It's going to have to, I can clearly see that keeping the conversation focused is going to be something I'll have to.
So back to
Pay
ghosting.
attention.
Oh man, me and Katie have had some of the wildest conversations.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, because we're both then I guess in the New York comedy scene.
Yeah.
Can be fun.
Yeah.
And I think you probably wouldn't. Well, oh wait, back to ghosting. Ghosting. And the other term that I was told recently that's new is breadcrumbing. Have you heard about this?
I feel like I bet I could guess what it is.
Yeah.
Can I try to guess?
Do it.
I feel like it's like where somebody, it's just like another term for stringing somebody along.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that might be the case.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting as well. That's the new one that people are talking about.
Right.
They breadcrumbed me. Do you breadcrumb people?
I mean, I will keep people around that I have no interest in seeing in like a serious way, but I just will sleep with.
Yeah.
But I think
sleeping with
No,
them.
but
I'm
that's not
open.
breadcrumbing.
No,
that's
yeah.
just friends with benefits.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't. I have in the past.
I have breadcrumb, but it's more to do with my own lack of surety about what I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes a little bit about not wanting to hurt somebody's...
Not wanting to hurt their feelings.
So, well, you know, just not 100% sure and just sort of waiting for the right time to maybe drop it. So you're sort of,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I've definitely done it. I
let's
think-
do something next week.
Yeah. Oh,
Right,
I've done that. I
right.
push it off as well because I'm a bit confused, and then you're afraid. Yeah, you think you'll change your mind, but generally you don't.
Right.
Usually first instinct.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
all these terms are for behavior that existed already anyway,
Sure.
really.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, with ghosting, when we read this article, like, it was really quite severe in terms of what they were saying you were doing to the people by ghosting them.
I roll.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it was saying. Well, I guess what it was saying is if its effects in long term. So let's say if you're stopping being direct there, it gives people a fear of intimacy because they never really know, they're not dealing with rejection well, they haven't gotten the rejection. Then what else was it saying? It was kind of
it was just basically saying that it's very disrespectful to keep the person, and it shows that you didn't really care about them. But really, the most important thing they were saying is it really says more about the ghoster than the person being ghosted.
Well, the ghoster, it's a cowardly move. I think
that's what they were saying.
It's lazy and it's cowardly.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, because it's better just to cut the person out.
Yes.
But this is the thing, like, I come from a small town in Ireland where you couldn't ghost.
Because you'd see them.
I'd know their mother, their
Right.
sisters.
Right.
There's no ghosting.
No.
I know where they live. I can call up to their door if I want. I'm not that crazy. But
Right.
it's so... Here, it's easier to ghost. It's a big
so
city.
easy.
It's
Yeah.
a byproduct of the anonymity of the modern dating scene.
Holy shit. Is that a thesis?
I'm glad I wouldn't have been able to say that word. Anonymity.
Anonymity, it's the spiritual foundation of all our traditions. That's an AA joke. Yeah.
Oh,
I had a funny feeling she would get it.
I didn't get it.
Friend of Bill. Yeah, I think it's...
That's a code.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I just drink 3 drinks a week. Okay, so
3 drinks.
A fir tree, a birch tree, and
3 drinks.
a maple.
I know. I'm just picturing you drinking sap.
you know, it took me a while to get that you were making like tree jokes. I didn't know what you were on about for a second. You were like maple. I was like, is that some sort of cocktail? Oh, right.
What are we talking about there?
We were talking about ghosts and breakups. Do you know what I do? Okay, I was saying
Tell
this
me.
to Des.
Oh, right. I said about the anonymity of the...
Yeah.
Well, I had
Do you want to say it again?
anonymity.
That's a great phrase.
I can't talk. Big words.
No, sorry.
But-
What are you going to say? 'Cause
ahead.
I have the follow-on to what I was trying to say.
Do you want to go first?
Well, just in the sense that when I was joking about the anonymity, but what they're saying is that there's no hazard to ghosting nowadays because you're meeting these people who have absolutely no connection to your circle of friends.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ghost them, it doesn't matter if you're being cowardly because you're not going to have to face the consequences of
Right.
those actions.
Yep.
You know, you'll
100%.
get a couple of angry texts or
Yeah.
whatever, but in the end,
The more you do it, the easier it is.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more it's your modus operandi or whatever. You know, it's like I think there was like a documentary about a guy who was just like ghosting, a chick every 2 weeks.
oh really?
But I mean, the effort involved to like getting that intimate with someone that it would hurt them to ghost them. I mean, that seems like work.
Yeah.
Like if you're ghosting somebody and you're hurting their feelings, that means that you went on a bunch of dates, probably slept together a bunch of times. So it's like, is that always the end game? Like, why not? Yeah, just.
Well,
like,
I mean,
tell
if it's a
'em.
pattern of behavior,
Right.
it's clearly that there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, that's
But
what.
guys have problems with intimacy or whatever. They have
Yeah.
problems with confrontation.
Yeah.
Well, there is a part where people are afraid to kind of let the other person down. But I've had someone message me and say, I didn't want to ghost you. Here's the reasons why I can't date you. And I was like, oh, that's great.
Right.
And it gives you closure. It lets you move on a little.
Yeah, and you're
it's
like,
not-
I'm gonna start shaving my pubes.
No, I haven't started and I won't. I keep them nice and trim. And it's okay having a little bit of hair.
Oh, you don't shave it?
No, I like it with
I'm
a little
joking.
hair. I think it smells better.
No, it does.
And
You're
it feels
absolutely right.
better.
I'm in
I-
between Brazilians right now. We're probably the same length. We're probably doing great.
Scary when I first came over, and I was confused because so many people were talking about. Nobody really talked about it in my friend group at home.
No.
So I never really knew what to do. I was just sort of winging it. And
I
then
just figure you guys all have like little shamrocks down there. You got like a
that's
little mold.
what I have now. Bunch of shamrocks. A leprechaun comes and shaves it for me. Jesus Christ. Do you know what though?
What?
So you said you haven't been ghosted.
I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I'm also not the one to like send a follow-up text if I get ignored once.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't
So
either.
you're just like, okay, fine, it's over. That's
Yup.
it.
I'm the exact same, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then,
I think that like if maybe there's another pattern of behavior. If you're getting ghosted constantly, perhaps you're maybe a little needy. Maybe you come on too strong. You know, like I think people need to accept some responsibility on both sides of the aisle now.
Oh,
Huh?
yeah.
Huh?
And also perhaps that we need to start to understand that things are going to happen this way more and more as we have this impersonal communication
Right.
system.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
so just when we were, I was thinking this morning about this ghosting and breadcrumbing, but so when I guess my issue as an Irish woman, I kind of am quiet about sex, or I go slowly into it, and I like to kind of have a couple of dates, and that's a very me thing, just. But so what I was doing with American men over here is I'd meet them on a night out, or we go on a date and they kind of say, do you want to go back to yours? And I'm like, sure, I'm not going to have sex with you. And I'm very clear about that. But I bring them back and I make them tea. And, you know, then I guess my American friend told me, then I never hear from them again. And she was like, I think that's abuse. And I was like, but I tell them, and she's like, yeah, but here going back for a drink really does, they think you're just saying it. And I was like, oh, I'm just happy to sit up and talk.
Right.
But yeah, it was an interesting thing where she was like, we wouldn't do that here. And then I spoke to a friend of mine who was American, but he lived in Ireland for a few years, and he said he noticed that when he was in Ireland, a lot of the Irish girls would bring him back for tea and not have sex with him.
Right.
And every time he thought, even though they said we're not going to have sex, he thought, no, they will when we get back.
Right.
And then no, he said he'd sit up for a couple hours, have a cup of tea, a few biscuits.
Right.
Yeah, what do you think about? I have a lot of thoughts on that, but
Yeah.
I would be curious to hear what you have to say first, because I've experienced both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of like, it's difficult to acquiesce. Like I don't acquiesce to sex. Like, pressure like doesn't work on me. If I even like get the sense that you're pressuring me and I'm not in the mood, I just turn like full bitch. I'm like, get out, whatever. So even as pushy as like American guys are, I mean, yeah, I've brought guys back. I'm similar though. Like, I brought guys back with every intention of just hanging out and just talking, and then I've had to kick them out. And I've had guys slam the door in my face. One guy just yelled at me. And he is a comedian. Wait till you hear who he is after we're done recording. He slammed the door on my apartment. But before he did that, he goes, why the fuck did you ask me back here then? Why did you ask me here if you weren't going to fuck me? And I was like, I thought we were just going to smoke a bowl and chill and maybe make out a little bit. Like, sometimes I am very much in the mood to like get right into it and have sex. But like, if I'm not, I'm not. So I don't know. I don't know if I answered the question.
No, it's a good answer. I mean, I personally think that their reaction to what you did is a little exaggerated in the sense that I think it's totally fine to come back. But I would think if you were going to make out with them, it's going to be fine. You know, it's going to be fine. I think if you just come back for tea and nothing happens, like, it is a bit weird.
Oh, I do kiss. I get a little hot and heavy.
Well, I think that's fine.
I keep my underwear on. Yeah. Because I'm like, if they just hung out for another couple of dates, then yeah. And that's just
right.
Because I need to know whether for me it's going to be serious or casual or what I'm getting I'm a slow thinker when it comes to things like that.
I want to go to the guy's place. I want to search for the Valtrex, so I know.
What's Valtrex?
It's herpes medicine.
Oh my God.
Oh, right. That
scares me. I looked through the medicine
cabinet. A lot more herpes paranoia here than in Ireland.
Never heard of it in Ireland, yeah.
Really?
I only found out 2 days ago that it's skin on skin contact. I always thought, condoms, I use condoms all the time.
Oh no.
And a very good friend, one of my best friends, has herpes, and she was telling me, no, skin on skin, and she's so beautiful and
ruined.
It's just
yeah, but she's not ruined. It's just the way.
I mean, I just felt so. She still has men coming at her left, right, and centre. She made a very good statistic, though. Actually, just to put this in her favour, she said it's a very small statistic. You're more likely to get knocked over by a car than catch herpes from skin and skin contact. So that was good. At least she has the. Yeah. But I didn't know that she will tell men before she sleeps with them that this is.
But the other statistic that's important is that way more people have it than you think.
And that they might not even
know
they
have it. It's up to like 50%. It's like 2 and 4.
No, 1 in 4 is my understanding.
I think it's higher. It was 1 in 4 like 10 years ago. It's got to be higher now.
I thought it was 1 in 4 for genital herpes.
When I first
it's
heard
90% for cold sores.
But like, some people are born with that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I get like fever blisters, but I've never had a cold sore in my mouth.
Yeah, but do you think you have the whatever
no.
herpes simplex, that particular?
I mean, no. Clean as a whistle. That's why I look for the Valtrex.
I thought I had herpes once, and I called my parents crying to them.
Oh no, your dad?
Well, my stepmom. My dad was my poor father.
Your dad.
But it was my stepmom, and she was like, "It's okay, it's fine. You just deal with it." But it turns out, went to Planned Parenthood, I just had an allergic reaction to some. And you're obviously not meant to clean yourself down there with like soap. But sure, look, nobody had told me, and I had an allergic reaction to it.
Listen. I mean, I can't even begin to count the amount of times I thought I had herpes.
Oh, I have an ingrown hair that I think needs surgery.
Like I've looked at more Google images of herpes.
Me too.
I mean, Jesus Christ! Like every time I have it, you know.
Yep.
Oh my God! For Irish listeners, do you remember when the blue vagina picture was going
with
around?
the blue waffle?
Blue waffle was I here as well.
I used that in a roast battle.
terrified
The blue
me
waffle.
for
It's
life.
terrifying. You know
Did
what the
you
blue
know the blue
waffle?
No
waffle?
idea about the blue waffle.
Well,
Oh my God. It's
you'll
just
have-
like an incredibly, I apologize to your listener. I can't believe you brought this up. It's the most terrifying image, bar none, I've ever seen. It's just a blue, it's an infected vagina. It's absolutely disgusting. It's the grossest thing I've ever looked at.
Well, it's good. It'll remind people to go and get checked. Because honestly, in all seriousness,
Yeah.
that's a big problem in Ireland. There is not the same openness about going to get an STD screening as there is here.
Really?
Like here, it's just like not a thing. It's
No,
just like
yeah.
something that you do.
Yeah.
Whereas Irish
Put it
people
on the fridge.
They're still very uptight about it.
Yeah, no, that's true. And you know, I think a lot of my friends would have a lot of condomless sex. So that's a lot of Irish guys try to. There was a thing going around in Ireland. Remember, they were talking about it where the guy was whipping the condom off.
There's a name for that. They
before-
do it here too a lot. There's
Oh,
a name
maybe it
for
was.
it.
Oh, sorry, Ireland. Maybe it was here.
Honestly,
I heard it.
I think that's it's certainly a Western problem in that since IUDs especially, I feel like people are having more unprotected sex.
Yeah.
Because the fear of pregnancy is just one thing less to worry about.
Yeah.
And
and
and apparently because it feels better, but I think that's bull. Does it really? Is it that better?
Oh, do you think it's bull?
Oh, sorry,
Well,
never
that is
mind.
one thing you do not know.
My girlfriend said it, and I've had sex. She said it in her, and I've had sex with the condom on and without the condom on, and to me it feels fine either way. But okay, sorry, for the man it must be much better.
I love men. I love them.
But let me ask you this serious question because I just want to keep focused on the one, like actually finish one topic.
Okay.
Okay.
We were talking about ghosting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel when you're more connected with the person if you break up with them by text?
Oh yeah.
Would I or have I?
Have you or how do you feel about that?
I think it's garbage. It's trash.
Oh, do you? I have a different opinion. Just because, for devil's advocate, it depends on the length you're seeing them. But let's say you're only seeing them a
Right.
couple of months. It's not super serious. I'd rather they text me than waste my time and me having to go meet up with them.
There's a certain type where, and I agree with you, of man that needs all of that like upheaval of like emotion, like to move on. They like need to see you cry. They need to like get it all out on the table and like have that like visceral face-to-face experience. And I think I would tend to agree with you in that sense because I think that's sort of like selfish because I don't know. I don't need all that catharsis sometimes. Like if you're done with me, you're done with me. I'm just going to go find a new dick. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that can be a little bit selfish. It depends. I mean, but then there's also the part of me that's like, we're human beings and we owe each other enough respect to like sit down, look me in the eye and tell me why you don't want to see me anymore or, vice versa.
Yeah, but how long? Like
That's the
how
question.
connected?
That's the question.
How connected does one need to be
I mean,
for that to really be a thing?
I think if it's only been a few months, I guess, you know what? I kind of broke up with a guy and over text, but it was a very lightly, like we like barely made out, but we had gone to a lot of dinners, like movies.
But no sex?
No sex.
Oh, no
Okay,
sex.
well then
I think
definitely
if there's no
text.
sex, you can text.
No
Yeah,
sex.
100%.
Yeah. And it was because he never like made a full on move. I gave this guy like so many shots, but again, like I need an alpha, but like I'll throw a beta a bone. You know what I mean? Like if you like, I'll give you a shot to be an alpha, like I won't, but he like put his head on my shoulder, like in a cab. And I was like, like my vagina just went like into my body. I was like, this is not. And so I just felt bad, but I told him, and hopefully I think he'll take what I said and like it'll improve his love life because I was like, dude, you never really made a move. And he was like, well, I'm kind of bad at that stuff. And I was like, well
then good luck.
Yeah.
You're with the wrong fucking, I mean, come on. You can't, most comedian women definitely, I would think, definitely need a guy to fucking step up.
Yeah.
100%.
They're not going to fucking get some timid motherfucker.
But then we've also like, I've been with like, I dated like an animal for like 2 years. You know what I mean? That like sometimes when you get off that roller coaster, you don't mind a soft beta landing.
No, that is true actually.
So like a couple months of like just like a pet, like a golden retriever. It's like, go get me stuff, do what I say. I mean, it's not going to last. But it's like, I think everything's cyclical. That's why I think I go beta, alpha, beta, alpha, beta, alpha. I stay with the alphas longer and my heart gets broken by the alphas harder. Mm-hmm. But I know,
but you can't, you're not going to
wind up with a beta.
You should stay with the beta. You should.
That's you're
the
right.
Smart thing.
You're absolutely right.
But you don't.
No, because that's not what I'm attracted to. That's not what keeps me around. That's not exciting.
Yeah. Now, so say 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
But sexual. 5
weeks sexual. Exclusive or we don't know?
We don't know. Just like it got very passionate very quickly.
Very
but
passionate
there was
very quickly.
never any like never any discussions
about exclusivity or anything.
Oh, yeah, just like
but passion. You throw passion in the mix.
Well, a lot of fucking.
Now, is it like fucking like with like eye contact, or is it like more like doggy style?
Just like good sex. Let's just, you know.
I love eye contact.
I know. And eye contact does something to women, like during sex. I interpret that as like, oh my God, we're in love.
Me too.
In future, I recommend interpreting it as he likes your face.
How about you guys
He's saying nothing else other than I like your face, or while we're fucking, there is something super intense about this. But literally, the minute he's done, he's like,
it. Wow. Yeah. See, women, I take that and I like think it means
please.
something.
Men, just look at our hairlines, please.
I know. Look above. Don't look into my heart.
Anyway, just
5 weeks.
4.5.
4.5. Yeah. I mean.
And just like it was like a big peak and then a big drop.
What was the drop?
Just
boredom.
Just
interest.
Just left, or one or the other just clearly just triggered the other person to just be like not into it.
Annoyed. Something they did annoyed them.
Yeah.
Can they text? Breaking
Well,
up?
yeah. I mean, the point is like,
I think
you got to meet up and just to be like, yo, I'm just not into it anymore.
Right? No, I don't think I don't think you need to spend that hour.
So is it trash
time.
or not? This is the interesting.
No,
thing.
I don't. No, I don't think that's trash.
Yeah, I don't think it's trash either.
Because for me, I feel like, what's the point of like meeting up?
Yeah,
but I looked online. It's like it's considered. A lot of people think it's disrespectful that you've shared something and you owe this person at least a meetup.
But that's like the Cameron Diaz and Vanilla Sky scene where she had like a little fling with Tom Cruise and she's like, your bodies make a pact, and then she like drives off a cliff. Like that's crazy bitch stuff. Do you know that movie?
Yeah,
I know the movie. I didn't see it.
I brought my father to that movie, 14, and I said, I've heard this is good. We should go see it. And I still to this day have like flashbacks of how uncomfortable that was.
Right.
It's a very weird movie. But no, I think as well, because if for that scenario, if you're to meet up and if you're already kind of done and there's not a lot of reason other than your attraction is stopped or it's time to move on, what conversation is going to help?
None. Right.
It's just going to make the other person feel even
shittier.
It's emotional turmoil.
And it can be, but sometimes it's the dumper that requests that meeting, and that's what I think is selfish, because that's like you're doing that so you can sort of like breathe easy, like, well, I did it, but like really you just like kind of hurt somebody's feelings in public.
Yeah.
I mean, I also think that possibly you're like transferring the fact that it just fucking hurts, or it's an ego smack, or it's just a negative thing to have somebody say, I'm not into it. So it's very easy then to go, how you don't respect me enough to meet up or whatever. And it's like, well, what's the difference? I mean, you're angry anyway.
Yeah.
So like, if we meet up, like, what does that do? It's like, oh, there's more respect. I mean, at the end of the day, it's over.
You're still
no matter what. It's not going to change. I'm not going to see you in this McDonald's and be like, oh my God, I changed my mind. You look beautiful in this light. I think that's why it's even a little more abusive to meet up at times, because then you might be giving the other person a false sense of hope. Maybe if I put on my push-up bra, like I'll get him back.
Oh no, and as well, you're the bad person no matter what you do. Text, phone call, that meet up.
Because I had, sorry, go ahead.
Well, just like you could have met up with the person before they're going to work or something, then they're crying, and that was it.
Because I had this opposite scenario that drove me fucking nuts, which was, I met this girl on Raya.
Can you fucking recommend me? I've been trying to get on Raya forever.
Can we tell the Irish audience what it is? Because I don't know. Do they have Raya there?
It's Tinder.
There's Raya's all over the world. There's just celebrity Tinder, or like wannabe celebrity Tinder.
I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't celebrities.
Most of the people are not celebrities, right? So anyway,
I still want to get in it.
Of course, you want to get in. There's a lot of very attractive people.
Yeah, I want to get it.
So anyway, I met this girl on Raya, and we had, you can tell pretty early that the texting, like if it's going to be halfway decent at least.
Okay.
So I took her to the U.S. Open. So this is like a big.
Oh shit! You dropped a little coin, or did you have free passes?
No, I dropped some coin, but I love going to U.S. Open. So even though it's like, wow, he's splashing the cash. It's like it's
you're gonna have fun no matter what. Even if she's a dum who's like, oh, what's tennis?
So anyway, long story short, we had a great first date.
Okay.
Couldn't have gone better, really, and just disappointing.
Okay.
But the vibe was good, and then we had like a lot of making out in the cab. And we didn't go back because she was clear that like she didn't want to go back, but she was ripe for turning, but I wanted to respect her initial. I wanted to respect her.
You wanted her to know you liked her.
Yeah, but also I wanted to respect her initial thing, which was like I think it's a bad idea, So I had a show anyway, so I left, and so great first date. A lot of texting afterwards, but now she had told me that she had recently broken up with her ex, right? And which was fine. And then 4 days of like super intense texting, and then we met up for lunch, right? And so we meet up for lunch, and like 15 minutes into the lunch, she was like, "Oh yeah, I messed up." I was like, "What do you mean you messed up?" She's like, "Oh, I was with my ex the other night," and I was like, "Well, why are you telling me?"
Right.
And she was like, "Well, I feel like we had a really good connection, and I just want to be totally honest with you." And I was like, "Well, like, why?" like what why do I need to know this? And she's like, "Well, I just don't think that we can continue." And I was like, "Oh, well then why did you meet up with me?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, I thought you deserved the respect of meeting up." I was like, "Yo, this is the second time we're hanging out." Like she was like, "Well, I didn't think you'd be upset." It's like, "No, I'm only upset because I'm fucking
You
like
wasted
other
my
things to
time.
do
Right,
today."
And did you have to pay for the lunch?
No, I walked out.
Nice.
But it is just
like
drama.
not in a huff. I was just like, "Okay, good luck."
Bye. Right.
No, and it's just people liking a bit of drama,
Yeah.
I know, but it is this thing that bothers me. This thing of like, I thought you deserved the respect. It's like, respect my time, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I want this hour back.
Exactly.
I could have done anything for lunch.
I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't the worst thing in the world to meet up with her for lunch, but it was just I was just like,
It's right.
What are you going to sit there then and go,
it's
can
like,
I have the salad?
We had a great first date. It turns out we're not meeting up again. No problem. Like,
Right.
we just don't meet up.
Right.
No, that's totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
Unless she was still deciding the whole way, and then she saw your face.
She saw the way that I slurped. She saw the way that I slurped ramen, and she was like,
50
"Nah,
years of this, no, thank
don't
you."
like the ramen."
going back
50
to
years? I'm 43. 50 years. There's no.
You could
I don't
live.
think in 50-year chunks anymore. Just to let you know.
You could live 50 years.
Yeah, no doubt. But I'm just telling you that you don't think in 50-year chunks after a
I'm
while.
young.
You are. Yeah, that's weird. I've never done that.
I mean, I'm sure our listeners can chime in about what they feel about the appropriate way to break up. But
Right.
I wonder if we'll slowly start to soften on the concept of breaking up by text.
Yeah, I think we should. I guess it is sort of like the question of length and, how long you've been with somebody.
Yeah.
You can't break up. You're going to break up with somebody you live with over text?
Well, exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean,
no. If you're together in a
Hey, man.
relationship, if it's past exclusivity, I think you should probably
Yes.
definitely meet up. But if it's before that, and then a lot of people, I was dating a very socially awkward person, and there's no way he would have been able to have that conversation with me because he just hasn't got the words.
Wow.
He just couldn't. So the text message actually was very explicit and lovely, and that was probably better than the kind of we tried to have the conversation and it was all like all over the place. So I kind of can understand as well if you're able to do it better maybe with the written word.
Right.
And fire ahead.
I think it's impossible to break up by text if you're like been together a long time.
No.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
No.
god.
So
Yeah.
I think there's like a time.
Yeah. I just think before exclusive.
Yep.
Once you're exclusive, then you got to do the.
Oh, so it's before exclusive?
I think so.
Great. I got some people to text me like, "Why'd you give me a fucking hard time? You're wrong.
I have two
Wait,
women.
where was all that bullshit coming from? That was on you."
I've one woman from Ireland and one from America representing both countries.
I've had some great breakups. I've had some grandiose breakups.
Oh, I love. Oh God, breakups are crazy.
One guy, this guy I was with a long time, like 6 years, and we did live together. And then we broke up and still had to live together for a month because that's New York. And then I saved all my money and started dating a new guy. And that guy came and picked me up from my ex's place. And I just packed all my stuff up in his car. And he didn't even, the guy I was living with didn't even know. He's watching TV. He's like, where are you going? And I was like, I got a new apartment and my new boyfriend's outside with his car.
Oh.
Bye. He was stunned. He was so mad.
Yeah, that is pretty fucked up. It's fucked up, really.
I had to get out of there.
No, I get it, but my boyfriend's outside. It could have been a little softer.
Yeah,
And just be
I
like,
guess so.
I got a new place.
I know. Yeah.
I did that with I had my dad waiting outside for me, but I was living with a guy. I went in, I packed up my stuff before I broke up with him. He was asleep. And put it in the car and came up. I even got my cat and everything, the cat in the car. Came up, woke him up and said, "Look, we're breaking up. You have a week to move out. I'll be at my parents for a week." And that was it. Went down, got in the car.
That was in Ireland?
It was in Ireland,
Wow.
yeah. But if I hadn't done it any other way, I wouldn't have broken up with him and I wouldn't be here in America because it was impossible to ever have. It needed to be direct, get him while he's groggy.
Band-Aid.
He was very argumentative.
Yep.
I had tried it for 6 months, and at the
Right.
time I was only like early 20s. We'd lived together.
Just a baby. Yeah.
So it was just like, okay, this is just the way I
That
needed.
was hard because that guy that I lived with, I was too. I think I dated him from when I was like 19 until I was like 25, 26. And I was a baby and I was an alcoholic. I kept getting fired from jobs, but I lived with him. He would pay all the rent. He would give me an allowance when I got fired from my jobs. So like this was like
He gave you an allowance?
Yeah, he'd give me $20 a day, and then I would order sushi and like sake, because you can get like hot sake for like $4 in like a huge canister. And I would sit there and smoke his pot and watch Animal Planet and drink hot sake until he came home from work and yelled at me for not trying to find a job all day. But I mean, the codependency was like through the roof.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to break up with him. Like Band-Aid. I quit drinking for one of the times I've quit drinking, and so for that whole month when I lived with him, I wasn't drinking, and then got the
For quite a while.
yeah.
Didn't you want to ask Kerryn about...
Oh, do you know what I did? I did. I wanted to ask you about, because I feel like this is an American phenomenon.
All right,
and
all right.
Now, maybe all my Irish girlfriends will say I'm wrong, but
Let's
thirst traps. So thirst traps, for people who don't know.
For American listeners, you're saying thirst, right?
Yeah, like I'm thirsty.
I thought tourist traps.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Just in
That's
case.
where you set up a little trap and a
In
guy
my
with a
head, I'm like-
camera walks in and we get him.
I was like, I've caught a few. What are we?
No, so thirst trap.
Right.
And-
I'm the perfect person to ask this.
Exactly. And for
Yeah.
people who don't know, because I'm not sure how popular it is in Ireland, because I know, Des, you didn't know what I was talking about when I said it.
I'd never heard of a thirst trap.
So it's
What
where,
about a thirst trap?
so it's where you give
I mean,
people
I know what you're
water.
saying when you say
No.
thirst, but I just,
So basically, it's like putting up very kind of explicit photos of yourself
Right.
on Instagram, I guess, to
Yes.
get likes, and then to kind of trap in your and men do it as well, and
Sure.
to trap
Oh,
in
sure.
people you fancy and stuff, and kind of get that sort of.
Yeah.
Some people use it to promote shows. Some people just for validation. Some
Right.
people, just for like, why not?
I actually never met you till today, but I've actually commented on her almost entirely naked
You know,
body.
my
You've
brand
seen
is
more of her
working.
before you knew her.
My brand is working.
But okay, number one, why are they called thirst traps?
Because people are thirsty, like they need water, but if water were sex, they're thirsty for it. They need the sex.
Really? I mean,
It's
that's such a
attention
weird...
too.
And the trap is you catch in kind of like, so some people would do it as well for like if they really like someone, and it's actually catered probably for one person, actually one
yeah,
guy
yeah.
or girl, they like to see if they like it, like look how hot I am, and look 200 other people think I'm hot.
yes, sure.
But essentially, it's just sort of a sex sell scenario, right? You're promoting yourself through sexuality and
Yeah.
your body.
Yeah.
I've done.
But
I tried to
why
do
is it
fun-
called a trap?
Because people are trapped. They can't help it. They love looking at
It's
the
a
naked
disruption on the Instagram
Yeah.
feed. It's like, whoa,
Oh yeah.
I'm trapped.
Oh, boner on the subway.
Yeah.
I've tried to do funny ones where I did my
Yeah.
naked body with my hair covered.
That was
over.
a cute one. Yeah.
Thanks,
that was
yeah.
cute.
My dad follows me, so I'm not going to do anything too
Oh,
wild.
my mom gets so mad. It's funny because I'm on my story. I had like my ass, and then I think a few lines later I had like my sober date, and my mom's like, "Congrats, but also your ass. Why?" I'm like, "Mom, I got my butt from you." She's like, "I know."
And what's your opinion with thirst traps, or why would you do them? Or
Why
am-
do you do them?
Why do I do them? I am, I mean, I'm in my 30s, believe it or not. And I'm very proud of my body, and I work out every fucking day. So why not? I don't think promoting a healthy body is a negative thing. I think it's a positive thing. And then it is funny. It's like, I don't do it purposefully for research, but the information that you get and the comments that men leave are just, they're astounding. Like, it's,
Like what?
I don't know. A lot of mine are like, fans from like podcasts, like guys that will just say stuff, and it's just, they're funny. Like, they're just silly and funny, but I would never actually like respond to them. I mean, 99% of them,
You think they're trying to be funny, or you think they're trying to flirt with
No, I think that they're being sincere.
you? Really?
Yes.
Can you give us like one decent example?
We can read some, I guess. Wait.
But like, so say when your
Like-
mother is like, "Why are you showing your ass?" Like,
yes.
What?
I have a recent one, right?
I mean, I'm not saying you ever argue with your mother about it, but if you were to sort of argue with her, what would be your argument about it? Like,
I'd be like, what's the big deal, Mom? It's
Yeah,
just
who
my
cares?
body. I mean, I was also like, I was a ballerina. I've always been very like aware of my body and like celebrated my body like my whole life. So
and I think Irish women are getting way more like that now as well. With a lot of them will follow now. There's a lot of online workout ladies. What's it called?
Yeah, Sharon
Yeah.
Walton influencers.
Yeah, so they're getting a lot more body positive as well. So that's
Yeah, but some of it's body positivity, but then some of it is negative in terms of it's not honest.
Meaning
Yeah.
with
They're
Photoshop. Okay.
photoshopping.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
You didn't know that people were photoshopping their bodies?
Yeah, I presumed you just put up.
I mean, I never have. I don't have I don't know how to Photoshop. Like I don't know. I think you have to know how to.
No,
do
but
it.
you're not. Your Instagram account is not like an influencer's account.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Although I did get my first influencer email, they told me that if I go to a Walmart and buy some Febreze, they will give me $25.
Wow.
Lovely.
Wait, but I have to pay for the Febreze, which is $9.
All right, so really you're getting nothing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Other than a decent smelling couch
Yeah,
and $11
And
or whatever.
but I'm like, and you have to post about it. I'm like, so I have to say my home smells.
And I earned $11. I can't do maths.
I
but-
can't either. I'm like, I think it's 16.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Um,
It's 16.
Right. No, the photoshopping is, no, I don't do but they do. I mean, the Instagram, like chicks who have no other talent but their pictures, right, that are photoshopped. I mean, I don't think that that's healthy. I don't think that that's a positive thing to be selling a fantasy that you can't really ever achieve physically.
And also just this sense that you have to be sort of working out and looking good all the time to have self-worth, I think is kind of a negative.
Really? I would disagree.
Well, that's all that matters?
Not that all that matters, but I think your connection to your body is directly, correlates to like your mental attitude, your positivity, your lifestyle.
Yeah, but the amount of effort that you have to put in to look a certain way.
An hour a day? I think it's worth it.
I don't work out.
You are 21.
I'm 28.
28.
But I do walk a lot, and
Yeah.
I'm not able to really eat a lot of dairy. So
Right.
But
Because you get the toots. What do you take, a Lactaid? What
no, I don't take anything. I just don't eat it.
do you do? Okay.
But yeah, I would get that. But no, but yeah, no. Like I guess so.
But
There's no,
I didn't
No,
work
you
out
don't-
crazy.
Sorry, I was just going to say, you
No.
don't think that it pushes people towards body image issues?
I think a healthy body, which I think is in the current climate, I think the ideal body is healthy. Like I think all right. The Kardashians are fake, right? Like that we're talking implants, butt implants, collagen everywhere, probably cool sculpting. But I think the image that they're trying to attain is like abs and a big butt and strong legs. And I think that's a good image. I don't think what was going on, I don't think the body image, like when those Calvin Klein ads were going on, like heroin chic, I don't think that was a positive body image. That's not a strong body. That's a weak body, a frail one. I don't think that on either side of the spectrum is healthy. I don't believe in the no body shame thing for fat people. I think they should be ashamed. I think no body shame should be saved for veterans and people who lose limbs and shit like that. I don't think the self-love at any way, I don't buy it. I think it's bullshit. I don't think it's a positive image to be spreading.
I mean, I can run with you on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can certainly understand the argument behind that. But I do have a problem with this sense that you're not
worth anything if you don't have a hot body.
well, yeah, and also just the extremes that people go to achieve it. I
Like
think
Mark Wahlberg up at 4 a.m. every day.
Well, whatever. I don't
day.
use him as my guide for anything.
He's
Well,
also
I guess-
4'11".
I guess you're working out an hour a day, and maybe.
But by the way, I don't think you're overdoing it. By the way, I'm not really not
Right.
really talking about what you're doing
No,
on
but there's
Instagram. I'm
other-
talking about people that it's just basically their whole thing is you should have a body like this.
Well, it becomes
Right.
like an addiction as well. People
Sure.
and then or people get there is other
yeah, like it
extremes that they
promotes
take.
body image issues.
Sure.
A sense of becoming obsessed with how you look.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you should have to be, well-rounded and educated and have other talents. I mean, I think a lot of people who are really into fitness often have other talents and are smart.
Yeah, because you're not doing these things on your Instagram where you're like standing at the mirror getting the perfect side light and then
Oh,
doing
of course. I
and
don't have
then
the time
doing
for
like
that.
oh my god, I'm so happy with my abs right now. Like
Right.
you're not doing
I don't
this.
have that kind of time.
Yeah, well that's what they're doing.
They do because that's their job. Like, that's their job.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have a very fulfilled life if that was the only thing I was doing every day.
Whereas you're going, hey, check this out. I'm not just funny.
Exactly. Check out this fat ass.
How do you feel Tickets
20
back.
years ago would have been like, what the fuck is that? But
I
now
know,
it's-
20 years. Ugh, yuck. I don't know. Chrissy Teigen's like bringing flat butts back with this campaign she has going
I
on.
saw that, yeah.
I didn't
I don't
see
have time for that, Teigen. She's like, why aren't long backs cute? Shut up. We're sticking with big butts until I'm in my 50s, at least.
But like Brazilian butt lifts are, but
But I don't think that's attractive. So many people. I think the hottest Kardashian is Kourtney, and she's the oldest, and she has 3 kids, and she's the most natural. She has implants, but she's the most natural body out of all of them. And then a lot of my guy friends are like, "What about Kylie? What about Kylie?" I'm like, "That's not a human anymore. You're attracted to Gek. Like that's putty. Like that's not. You know what I mean? Like that's a sculpture. You want to fuck a sculpture that's made out of like other people's fat or whatever the hell she has."
That's so funny.
I don't get being
I know,
attracted
but that is
to
my
that.
concern about all these Instagram accounts.
Right.
Because like a lot of them is perfect asses, but I actually know I know a couple of plastic surgeons in New York, and he's like, yo, you have no idea how many of them have been into me.
Right.
And people are trying to attain something
Yes.
that's unattainable without surgery.
Yep.
Now, I have no problem with the surgery. You want to get surgery, fine. But be honest about it.
Yeah.
And the other thing as well, though, once you start that, where do you stop? So, like,
Right.
you're looking at your arse isn't good enough, right? I'll get a bigger arse. Oh, but now my thighs aren't good enough. Oh, like, get something cut off my thigh. Oh, but now I have, like, it doesn't stop. You have
Right.
you have to know, like, no one's fucking perfect. And
Right.
that's why I don't work out. I'm too tired. I don't care.
Saying
might-
that, I
when
can't
you-
wait to get fucking lipo. Man.
When you're gonna
After-
get like,
yeah,
why don't you
after
get
lipo,
cool
I think I'd be
sculpting?
you think it works?
I think it does. There's
How much is it?
I don't know.
No, I'm
I've never
kidding.
I've never got.
Are you really going to get lipo?
No, I'm not getting lipo. Jesus Christ.
Everybody does
It's
get
cool-
lipo.
Cool sculpting looks. There's a comedian named Becky Robinson. I love her. She got cool sculpting. She put it on her story, and she first of all had like chicken tenders delivered to her while she was getting it done. I'm dying.
I actually just started following her.
She's so funny. And so they cool sculpt you, and then it looks like they like smush it all down into like it looks like a pipe or like a hot dog, and then you poop it out.
Wait, I don't even understand what that means.
You got to watch a video. It's like they take.
I've seen it
They
done.
smush all the fat on you, like you know what I mean,
Wow.
until it gets into this one band, and it, like they concentrate it so that it's like super hard, and then I guess you poop it out.
Oh,
I
do you
don't
know-
know what happens between that and the. I don't know.
Do you know what?
It's meant to do something to the fat to make you
Oh.
able
Yeah.
to pass it.
Right.
That's so because I have IBS, and my friend said to me one time, she was like, "Oh, you don't work out, and you're very skinny," and I was like, "I think it has a huge thing to do with IBS, which actually makes you quite sick a lot." And she goes,
Yeah.
"I wish I had IBS."
No, Jesus.
So
That's borderline eating disorder issues, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying your friend has an eating
No.
disorder, but it's like a red flag.
Well,
Right.
where I had to
I
be like,
wish I had diarrhea 24/7.
Right.
I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
Right, but
'cause
she's
it's
like, I'll take a life of discomfort so I can be a little skinnier.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have to do so many squats to get a big ass.
Yeah, my friend has a great arse,
Yeah.
and she's over in Sydney. She'll probably listen to this, and I'll give her a shout out because she has such a good
Well, you
arse.
got to have a good ass in Sydney. You can't
Oh,
you literally can't even get to the bottom of Bondi Junction. They don't let you in.
Is that true?
Oh.
No, that's not true. Jesus Christ.
She sent me an arse once, and I was like, "Jeez!" And I still show people her arse to this
But those,
day.
those Australian Instagram accounts, oh my
Yeah.
God.
But she's like you now; she would work out an hour a day, and
Right.
very healthy, in fairness.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of squats.
Yeah.
It's all about squats.
I worry about, well, the squats sometimes I think make a square looking butt, and the heart shaped butt is the most ideal shape.
I like my butt.
Yeah. I'm sure yours looks like a heart, but like an upside down heart. And I was looking at old pictures of myself when I used to not work out as much. And I was like, do I like my butt better then? Like when it was like a little less muscular, like a little, I might go back to like just doing, I used to just do like hot yoga like 2-3 times a week. Now I'm like Equinox, like, because it does become an addiction. Like if I don't get to the gym in the morning before work, I am a raging cunt all day. I'm ready to bite
And do you
anyone's
think
head off.
that's the addiction, as in, let's say, so you don't drink anymore, so now gym is it?
100%.
Because I found that when I was dating the ex-alcoholic.
Yeah.
Gym, like in the morning, he'd be like, I have to go to the gym at 11. I have to go to the gym at 11.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, grand.
Right.
Yeah,
Very,
it's a phase. You go through that phase passes. No, I couldn't give a fuck. I used to be so addicted to the gym, man.
You did? And then you're just
Yeah.
like, forget it. You still
But
go, right? No?
But as they say,
What?
you know, I never found myself in a fucking crack house or in a fucking hospital with a fucking treadmill in my arm.
They do say that. They do. That's a saying.
well.
The actual saying is, I never found myself on my bathroom floor with a meeting in my arm.
Oh,
No, people say we get addicted to meetings, so I never found myself with a meeting in my arm. You know what I'm saying? AA talk.
Hey, talk.
Yeah, like Nobody said that to me. I have another question for you. Oh yeah. Well, you know, so you said a few times about sleeping with guys. If you like a guy, like, and you think I want to be in a relationship with him, will you sleep with him on the first night or will you hold out?
I mean, I probably shouldn't, but if I'm being honest, yeah, I will.
Have you found that it's affected their interest in you, or they've still stayed interested and dated you
They
after?
still stayed interested. I mean,
Great.
I slept with Lewis the first night, and he also told me he loved me the first time that we slept together, and then we dated for 2 years. So
Yeah, I had a guy tell me he was loving me after the first time. Well, no, it was third date rule. We squashed 3 dates into 2 days.
But you knew him before, though, right?
I knew him, but we weren't like friends. I didn't know him well.
But he probably already had like an infatuation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Possibly. I'm not making me sweeping assumptions about your life.
No, yeah.
But that is good to know, because I guess my worry would always be, if I sleep with them on the first night, am I going to, like, that there is a bit of a chase?
I think that's like a common concern with women. I've heard them say that a lot. But yeah, if I'm being honest, yeah, all my serious boyfriends I probably jumped into bed with the first night.
But she likes pigs. So you got,
So do I. Oh, do you know what? And do you know what? This is funny with ghosting, and you said breakups. So I think this is interesting, where, you know, when you have a breakup and then, so it's not necessarily ghosting, but like when they handle it bad and you nearly have to block them, and
Yes.
it's like very upsetting that you could have spent you're like tarnishing those good memories. So what would the
Yes.
I guess it's not ghosting, because you've already, but you do have to ghost them. Or I guess I guess it's like,
When you have to like block them or like cut them off for their
cut
own
them
good.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've had to do that with a guy who just like wasn't really taking no very well. And I was just hurting him, like not trying to, but just by, because I wasn't into him romantically anymore. And I can turn that friendship switch pretty quickly. But I realized that me being his friend was giving him false hope and essentially hurting him. So I cut it off. I was like, I don't need to be hurting this kid anymore. Let him find a new girlfriend.
Yeah. We should coin a term for that, because I had a guy over here, and we were together for some time, but when I ended it, it just wouldn't stop. It was the emails, and then
I've had friends deal with that with guys too.
phone calls.
you get it with women too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, of course.
But the problem with
this is
women
people.
is they keep doing it, and you're just like either not chat. Like I think ghosting is the wrong term when you've been pretty clear, but they still keep coming at you.
Right.
So you don't respond, but then there's always that one fucking night they just hit you, and you're just like,
Yeah.
you know what, fuck it. But it's bad because then you're renewing the whole fucking guilt process, because then a few weeks later it's like, you think you can just fuck me?
Right. Yep.
Well, yeah, it's all.
But whatever, I can deal with it.
And I had,
Take the hits.
I had him turn up to my house and everything, and you're like, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah.
But I've heard.
Well, that's
Well, that's
stalker.
terrifying.
Yeah, I
Right.
was terrified.
That's when you got to send Jack out with a baseball bat.
Well, Jack was very upset with me that I didn't. But anyway, no. And then another term I heard was zombieing. Have you heard of this?
No.
So that's where, I guess it's what you said about them coming back from the dead, and they come back and you get wrapped up again, and then you're like, oh fuck, they're back in my.
Well, that's something that I feel like men have a knack for. They know when we're happy and don't care about them anymore. And the second the first day we like actually moved on and it doesn't hurt anymore, they'll text you.
They always come
They
back.
know. They're
Sorry.
wizards.
But you know why they come back? Well, first of all, it's a bullshit sweeping generalizations. So you never need to apologize, because they're all fucking sweeping generalizations, you know? These fucking bitches never leave. Of course we eventually come back when you're not a fucking raving lunatic. But whatever, you know? But
I'm very chill and cool.
Very chill,
logical.
cool
but
ladies.
on a serious note, you know, men deal with it very differently. So actually, it's usually around the time that you're getting over it that they're actually realize they miss you.
Yeah.
But that's more just to do with the way
What
men
is that?
process it.
Explain that.
I can't explain it. I'm a fucking man.
Try.
Try. Can
No,
you?
I mean, guys deal with it in different ways.
You're saying you realize you miss them, but do you think that you just miss them because they've been gone for that long?
Honestly, I could never say. This is more. I mean, I can speak about my own experiences,
Right.
but this is also apparently like kind of a universal experience that men process it a little bit later.
Yeah.
I mean, I certainly in one or two of my major breakups, like not these sort of micro breakups, but major breakups, it definitely the pain of it. Other than that initial, you know, fucking heaving loss that you feel, the pain of it or the real sadness of it definitely hit me later, and I definitely have fit into the supposed sort of normal thing.
Okay.
Because I think, well, for me anyway, there's a certain sort of sense of hiding in the freedom, and I don't mean just going fucking around, but just suddenly it's your own life.
Right.
And
You can do whatever you want. You know.
yeah, and guys can perhaps hide from they're just not as intuitive, in touch with their emotions.
Right.
So there does come that time where you're like, oh, fuck, you know, I really.
Because you test out some new chicks and you're like, man, I had a good one. The rest of these bitches are baddie.
Yeah.
Or even just the you realize then you're lonely a little while later.
Right.
But I think that's important to if someone breaks up with you, just give them their space.
Yeah.
Because if you do really like them as well, they probably will come back with a couple of like maybe they might not, but like that, I think men seem to. Again, I am generalizing, but they need a while longer to kind of like. I've always had guys come back to me later if I've. Now, generally, I'm over it by that stage, but I'm very much not gonna hound them after because they're not gonna. It'll push them away.
Right.
And
Yeah,
maybe that's women too as well.
I broke up with somebody. We got back together and were together for 5 years after that.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, like as well, just a bit of. Sometimes you just need a bit of space to think things through, and you need to be alone to figure out those thoughts.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel. That's why men come back after they've had a bit of.
But women do it too.
Like, well, I'm only talking from my experience.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that like
they do,
everybody, I think everyone's been guilty of that.
Yeah.
But I think that the bad zombieing, which is the kind of like, it was pretty intense, then it faded, and then like 6 or 7 months later, you're just like, hey, what's up? What you been up to, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's bad.
If both of you are inclined to just be like, oh, here's a bit of familiarity
Right.
I don't have to fucking have a one-night stand with some guy who might be dangerous.
Right.
I'll have an old go off of
Right.
my previous.
Right.
I'm just going to Google zombieing because now I think
you don't have to. We've been talking for
just
fucking
1 minute.
2 hours.
1 hour and 16 minutes.
You guys said this wasn't going to take that long.
I know. Well, fucking.
Can I though? Because
the fucking zombie walked into the room and gave us another fucking 15 minutes.
because
fucking Walking Dead.
She's got a whole glossary of terms over here I've never heard of.
No, it's wrong. It's if their face. I knew I was wrong. It's if their face or behavior shows no feeling,
Are
understanding.
you fucking
or
kidding me? We just had a cut.
Zombie is a dead person who has been brought back to life.
Yeah.
So I think
Right.
that would my explanation should be better then.
Yes. I like your explanation.
What you were talking about is a real thing.
It's
It
still
just
a phenomenon.
doesn't have a term.
Right. It's still a phenomenon.
It's Jesus.
That does happen.
He comes back from the dead.
Yeah, it's the resurrection.
Resurrecting.
The Messiah. He messiahed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Messiah.
I'm still waiting for my last guy to Messiah. Giving him all that space.
All the space to come back. Have you slept with any fans? Comedy fans?
No,
Ever?
I've had guys. I've had
You probably have dads. You probably have groupies.
Oh, I've absolutely slept
Yeah.
with. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't really have fans now at
If
this
they're
stage.
not from
They're
Raya,
roast
if they're
fans.
not from Raya, they've seen me at a show. What am I gonna do? Fucking hit on a woman?
Right.
No.
No. They just
gonna-
come up. Do
they
they come up to you in groups? Do you pick? Do you go eeny, meeny, miny?
I turn all my post-show parties into a brothel.
Hey, that's
Like,
against the law.
everybody pick a number,
Right.
and when your number is called,
Oh, I wanna be a man.
no, it's not like. Sometimes I feel like the female comics make it seem like it's just
I've
a big
seen it.
fuck
It
fest.
is. I've seen these freaking chuggle fuckers. These girls. I've seen them.
Gag hags.
But female comics, I've heard female comics before say that, oh, we don't get guys coming up to us the way guys do, but I get guys coming up to
I
me.
do too.
Yeah, so
Those are the fat ugly girl comics that are saying that.
I know. There's a couple of hot ones. It's not the same. There's no way it's the same.
and yeah, it's probably not the same.
And it's
but
not as you don't feel as safe.
No, that's the thing. Then
Yeah,
I like recently slept with a guy who hit on me after a show, and Micah was really mad at me because I went to his place. I was like, he's cool, he's Cuban, he's really nice, blah blah. She's like, Kerryn, you're crazy. He could have killed you. I was like, I think I would have got a vibe. I was like, I'm fine. I was in and out. I had a show that night. I went over there. He's still texting me.
Well, actually, and in fairness to them, a lot of I guess I talk very silly material,
Right.
So it's probably easier to approach me. I'm not so maybe that's it as
Maybe
well.
they just like you.
Yeah.
Rate yourself. Back yourself, Katie.
I just felt bad.
Honestly, it's the accent, Katie.
It's the accent. They love it.
They
I'm
love
just
it.
top of the morning to you, and
Oh, they love it.
they come in
Honestly,
their pants.
Yeah.
we have to finish this chat, but just to
Yeah,
let you know,
yeah.
for a compliment that came from my friend, he was like, "Oh man, she's great. She's got a great energy, and man, when she was like, something about like the guy made me come, and when she said come, I was like, I fucking got a Woody."
You got Woody. What's that?
A Woody?
What do you think?
A wooden erection.
Yes.
I thought you said got
Katie,
Woody. Like, I was like, I don't know what Scott
Every
Woody-
now and then, Katie drops a bomb of
innocence.
total innocent. What's a Woody?
But I guess when you say it, nobody say Woody. You got Woody sounds like he got like fluffy inside or something. No,
You got a Woody.
He got hard on. Oh, let me meet your friend, and then I won't fuck him.
He's married.
Then you make him some tea.
It was just a compliment.
Oh,
It's
wow.
really nice. Thanks, friend. Thanks,
Wow.
friend.
Thanks for your erection.
Yeah. No, you know it's nice to get erected by
course.
people. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. No.
It was only my voice, not my face.
Well, he probably knows what you look like too.
He saw the video.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel very complimented. Thanks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he's
Hell yeah.
choking one out to you right now.
Sure, you know, somebody has to.
Once it's not in the hotel room trying to advance your career.
Exactly, and it's not in front of me. In fairness, yeah. In fairness.
Yep.
So
Well, that's great.
I think that was really good. We hit on all the topics you really wanted
This
to
was
talk about.
very deep.
Such a laugh.
Well,
that
we were
was
trying
good.
to keep this one pretty light, to
I
be
know.
honest with
It
you.
was
I'm sorry.
light,
It
wasn't
was
it?
light.
No,
I
it was
mean,
light.
the
It was
subject
light.
matter- Yeah. It
It
wasn't
was
light.
light.
That intense.
I think
That's
I think people
Yeah.
will have fun with this.
Great. We don't have to do the
do you
analysis.
do,
I always
do, you guys, what do you do at the end? Do you do plugs? Is there a sign off?
Do you want to plug something? Do you want to? There's a bunch of
What
fucking
the
Irish,
fuck? I came to
bunch of Irish people
Yes,
listening to this.
I'm Irish. I might go to Ireland one day.
Okay, well, what's your Instagram?
Follow me on Instagram and fly me to Ireland at Kerryn Feehan. KerrynFeehan.
And
I've
remember,
never been to Ireland. I want to go.
well, if you follow her,
Well, at
you
least you
also-
don't say Feehan.
It can be said that way. I don't say it like that.
The Irish Americans often mispronounce their Irish names.
Really? Like even like
Okay, Mahoney.
wait, sorry, Mahoney.
wrong.
Mahoney.
Mahone is my arse. So
Oh really?
Well, yeah, Mahone.
I dated Joe Mahoney.
I love how Des just corrected my pronunciation.
Mahoney? What is it?
I'm from
Mahoney.
Leinster.
Oh, Mahoney.
Oh, Mahoney. Okay.
Moran.
Morin.
Close enough, but only because you're trying.
I don't like being wrong.
Moran.
You guys
Lauren.
should definitely follow Kerryn because she always puts up really sexy pictures, and I'm
Thank
a
you.
straight woman, and I really enjoy them. So
Have you got like a YouTube channel?
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, I got a bunch of videos up, but I don't know. That's not like my
You're
go-to.
not just Instagram right now. You're
yeah.
just trying to be Instagram famous.
Yes, I want to just buy Tide and get
And if
paid
there's any
for it.
Irish promoters, if you're looking for a fucking thirst trap of an act to sell some tickets.
she won't buy Febreze. So don't
No.
come at her with any Febreze shit.
No.
So for the Irish promoters, come check it out.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being on our
Thank
podcast.
you
We'll
for
try to get
having
you a
me.
few followers, you know?
Yeah,
We'll try to get you a few Irish guys to make awkward comments about your pictures.
that's all I want.
You know?
Oh, she's got me laughing today.
Fuck the freckles off you.
Oh.
And poor Michael. Don't forget about Michael from Kilkenny. If anybody can write in and they figured out who it is.
Shout out to
Cunt.
Mike.
By the way,
What's his last
you'd
name?
love Ireland because you can drop the C-bomb there with any concern.
Cunt.
Cunt, you cunt.
Yeah, I loved when you called
Fuck the
yourself. You
face
go,
off
if
you,
I
cunt.
don't, what did you say?
I don't
If I
know.
don't go to the gym, I'm a cunt.
I'm a raging
cunt,
cunt.
yeah.
Yeah, I really am. I went this morning. That's why I'm so pleasant.
Lovely. You have a lovely glow off you.
Thank you.
It's a gym glow.
Right.
You have to go.
So thanks to Kieran, who was great fun, and Katie, who is not here. And I have to say that Katie has been doing all the organizing. And our next episode, which you really should listen to straight away because they're all going up, is with Wendy Starling, who is a comedian friend of Katie's. And the reason why we had her on was to chat about seekingarrangements.com, which is a website. I guess it's a sugar daddy website. People make arrangements. And so we had her on to talk about her experiences with that. She's very open about it on stage. And I would think it's a very interesting chat. And so I really think you need to tune in for that. Don't forget to add Katie Boyle at Katie Boyle Comic on Instagram. I'm at Des Bishop. We are desperate for feedback. We have an episode, in episode 5, we get back to the question we put out at the end of episode 2. And we already have that recorded. But please pay attention to our Instagram feeds. We'll be looking for feedback, and we'll be asking some questions that we'll be discussing in future apps. Don't forget to like us on iTunes. Subscribe. Spread the word. New Irish sex dating podcast on the scene. And we got a load of great stuff coming up. So again, I apologize that My technological skills are such that Katie is not on these intros and outros, but she is really the driving force behind all this. So thanks to her for keeping me motivated. See you guys next ep.